Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Willis Wit and Wisdom. My name is Eric Willis, and I am the son of,
Bob Willis, that's my boy.
and so we're here today to infuse a little bit of hope, a little bit of perspective on life and loss and well-being for you. And today, um, Dad, I want you to dive into a topic that you're familiar with enough to walk other people through. And it's this concept of how do we honor a life?
Mm, yeah, so important. In fact, what you and I just talked about was yesterday was the 30th anniversary of my dad's death, 30 years ago. Feels like 10 some days, and some days it feels like 50 years. But I can recall after he died, looking back and see how I honored him, even without thinking about it. One of the things that comes to mind is I received from my mom, when we went through his things, I received an old pair of overalls, gray striped overalls that Dad wore all the time. Well, I honored him when I wore those puppies out. I mean, there was holes everywhere where there wasn't supposed to be holes, but every time I put them on, I felt like I was close to my dad. So I was honoring him. And you can honor people just by doing that, wearing things that they wore, holding something they held, or put it in your pocket and carry it with you all day. It's good to honor the person, to remember them in that way. And Payne Stewart was a professional golfer. You're into golf. You remember Payne
Yeah, I
Stewart
remember
with
Payne
those?
Stewart and the
Yeah,
knicker.
those
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, someone had interviewed Payne Stewart and asked him how he wanted to be remembered when he died. He said, "I can be remembered by tournaments I've played in, shots I've made." But he said, "Those are just facts and figures. I do not want to be remembered. I want to be missed."
Mm.
There's a difference. When we honor a life of someone we miss, not just someone we remember. In our conversation, we could remember probably 100 people who died, but we missed just maybe a couple. Okay. So we honor a person like that. And some of the things we've talked about in the past here is how to honor a person is to write down early memories. Think about those early memories you have, the starting point, and write those down. Then memories that feel good, then memories that hurt. That's how you honor a relationship, is kind of put it in a package like that. Take time, pull away from all distractions, and just let those memories flow. You may want to have some tissues handy because it might be emotional, and that's okay. Grief is emotional. I do not worry about people who cry after a loss. The ones that don't cry, I like to talk with, because I think they're either crying on the outside or they're crying on the inside. And if you're crying on the inside, that puts a tremendous weight on your heart. If you could picture your heart just filling up with tears,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason you have a heavy heart, because I think you're crying on the inside. So we need that avenue to express ourselves, and we do that when we honor a person's life. In the next few days, I'll be writing little morning moments on how do we look at anniversaries of deaths and birthdays and those holidays. What do we do? Well, I encourage people to honor a life. In fact, to honor them, you can go, if possible, go to their gravesite. Go to their gravesite, because when you see that name that's etched in granite in front of you and the dates, reality is there. And so you honor them just with your presence, and you bring your memories there too. Another way to honor them, even without leaving your home, is to have a photograph of them, maybe several photos, put a candle out, spend just a minute, a minute to light the candle, to stand there and remember them. A minute. I would like to think that when I die, I might be worth a minute for someone just to stop and pause and honor my life. And we can do that, and we don't have to buy anything. Just stand there and honor them for a minute. Another way to honor someone is to gather some of their friends who knew them, whether in a house or in a restaurant, wherever you can gather them. Maybe even have their meal, food that they enjoyed, and just celebrate that together, but talk about them. Share things that would cause you to laugh, share things that would cause you to cry, but share memories with their friends who knew them. Every memory is honoring their life. And I think that's the key, is look for ways to honor them and bring their name up.
Mm.
Because names don't die. Names don't die. That's the reason. There's companies that make a really good living by taking a chunk of granite and putting someone's name in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that way people connect to that. If it's a plain piece of granite, it means nothing at all. You put a name and a date on it, all of a sudden it's valuable. And we can have memories and we can honor someone's life.
Mm.
But I speak a lot about writing things, and I think that is so helpful. We have to organize it a little bit to get it out of our hands, but it can, one thing that really I'll be stressing in my article in the Morning Moments is write that person a letter. Write an anniversary letter. Every year on the anniversary or every year on their birthday, write a letter to them. That letter could be, this is what I've learned about your loss. This is what I've felt. This is what I've noticed. And that way you're looking back over your life, but you're recording it. And the next year, you look back over that year, you're recording it. I think that's honoring a person because we're calling time out. Let's think about them.
Love that. A lot of practical ideas there, Dad. And I've seen you live that out. So you're not just talking out of your,
I didn't.
You've lived it
I didn't
out.
read it anywhere.
Yeah, right. So now you're writing it down, so we can read
Yeah.
it somewhere. So be sure, folks, to go to Facebook and follow Dad. His Morning Moments, MOURNING, Morning Moments on Facebook.
Morning Moments.
Are really, really good shots in the arm for the day for those who have experienced loss. Dad, as you were talking about honoring a life, and it struck me that in order for us to honor a life after that life is no longer with us, it starts with honoring that life while they're with us. It starts with valuing relationship and making memories. And because a lot of the ways that we value a life after a loss is by recollection of doing life together and the memories that we've made. And so be intentional now with the loved ones that are here with you and around you to make those memories, to enjoy the relationship, to foster and build that relationship, forgive, and live in a way today that will cause your heart to smile when they're no longer with us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. You used a key word there. I think intentional. We can intentionally live this life with them today. That's an important part.
Yeah. So, Dad, thanks for time today, and thank you, folks, for joining us. How can folks get a hold of you and send you a question, because you are question worthy?
Right. You can track me down on Facebook, Bob Willis. You can see, in fact, there's a Bob Willis. I think he's a cricket player or something. So if you do search, that's not me.
Wrong one.
I recognize crickets. That's about it. But there's another Bob Willis, has this face and usually with a sculpture beside me, I believe. But you're welcome to follow that Bob Willis, and don't stalk me, but you can follow me. And each morning I will do a morning moment, so you can follow me. Send me a friend request. I'll be friends with you. You can email me at rwillis14@cox.net. rwillis14@cox.net. You can email me any questions that Eric and I can talk about. And we have a plan for the next couple of months, but we can also insert things into that. Our plans are in pencil.
That's right.
Our plans are in pencil.
Man makes his plans, but the Lord directs our steps. And sometimes the Lord uses you to help direct us in a certain direction.
Exactly.
And you can reach out to me at reclaimleadership.org. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have and bring them to Dad too. And we'll jump all over them. And if we don't have an answer, we'll either make it up or find someone who does have an answer.